Hello there everyone, it's me Harry, and now we're on day 23 of the Mediavent calendar. And what does this mean, you reckon? Yep, that means I'm doing another mixed batch today of 3 different publishers. So now we're going to start off with the company JoWooD Productions, based in Austria, which filed for bankruptcy in 2011, and its assets were sold off to Nordic Games and blah blah blah. But anyways, here is the first game, Cow the Kangaroo Round 2 for the GameCube, developed by Titus Interactive, and it's the sequel to the original Cow the Kangaroo. It was published in the US by Atari. So, here's the back. So the game originally came out in 2003 in Poland on the PC, and then its console versions came out in 2005. So yeah, pretty simple that way. So, yep. And we've got a nice bright blue disc. Oh, and, yeah, that too. The manual. So there's nothing on the back of the manual, just artwork of the hunter from the game. So, yeah. That's it for that one. Yeah, I didn't put it up properly. And then the other one is Ski Racing 2006. Developed by JoWooD Interactive. So this is the second game in the ski racing franchise. And it was co-published by Deep Silver, who entered into a deal with JoWooD to co-publish certain games. So, yeah. And then here's the disc. And then here's the manual. Sorry. That's all I really have to say there for JoWooD. I've only got these 2 games. I've also got Neighbours from Hell, but I don't have the cover for it. So, I won't be showing that one off. Next publisher is Eidos Interactive, a very well-known company, but I only have 2 games from them in this video. I've shown off a few other titles in other videos, but the 2 I have is Wacky Races Crash and Dash, developed by Eidos Studios Sweden. So this is sort of like a racing game, but it sort of isn't. It's mostly a minigame compilation with racing in front. Not a fun game. Especially since the Infogrames Wacky Races game actually was faithful to the original source material. It was an actual racer. And had all the Wacky Races cast rather than just a small amount. But I think all of them did appear in Crash and Dash. Mini Ninjas from Eidos Interactive. So this was the only kid-friendly game Eidos Interactive did, and they did it like as a way to let their developers' kids play a game from the company. Very interesting, actually. And while Eidos Interactive was sold off and became independent, Mini Ninjas wasn't included in the sale. Only included the Hitman franchise and something else. So, yeah. And last but not least is Virgin Interactive, Titus, and Interplay. I all count them as being one because that's how they were distributed. First of all is Lotus Challenge, a racing game from JoWooD Entertainment, published by Virgin Interactive, or as it says on the packaging, powered by Virgin Interactive. So this was one of the last games the company did as an independent publisher before they stopped publishing their own games and became solely a distributor. The back has their logo on it, but aside from that, there's nothing else to say. It was ported to other systems by other publishers, though. Next up is Hunter the Reckoning, based on the IP of the same name. Developed by High Voltage Software and published by Interplay. And, yep. And there's also the Digital Mayhem logo down there as well. And then it says exclusively distributed by Virgin Interactive. Here's the disc and the manual. It was also ported to the GameCube as well. So, yeah. Next up is Top Gun Combat Zones, developed by Digital Interrogation and published by Titus. It's a game based on the Top Gun movie franchise, but the game has very little connection with the films other than it having the license. It's basically Top Gun in name only. So, yeah, that's enough, I guess. Next up is Downforce from Smart Dog. This is a Formula 1 style racing game, but doesn't have the Formula 1 license. It's more or less like Formula 1 in the future, if you get what I mean. Pretty interesting, actually. Here's the disc and the manual. And some nice artwork too. And then here's a game that had a really late release in Europe, Barbarian, released in December of 2003. It was on all 3 platforms, but the availability of it varied. So, for example, the game was released only on the PS2 in North America when it came out in 2002. Japan got the PS2 and GameCube versions, whilst Europe got the PS2 and Xbox versions. So the Xbox version of this game was only released in Europe, and it even has Avalon Interactive's logo on the bottom after they rebranded from Virgin Interactive. Yeah, so it's strange, actually. And it even has the ELSPA symbol, even though that stopped being used by the time this game came out. Yeah, it's very strange in all. Last but not least is Run Like Hell. This was released in 2004. It was originally released on the PS2, and then this Xbox port came out a year later. So this was one of Interplay's last titles released at that time, prior to Titus going bankrupt. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. So, that's that for now. But what will be on day 24? I have no idea. You'll just have to see. You guys next time. Bye-bye.